All right, finance students, this is always an exciting day here. It's the last day of notes. So we're skipping to 8-9. Previous sections, stock splits, 8-8 and 8-7 stock fees. We're skipping those. Stock fees, the textbook's kind of old. Stock fees are just kind of a set thing that you pay whenever you trade a stock. And, if you're investing online with Ameritrade or E-Trade or something like that, it's usually less than $10 for each trade. Okay, so 8-9, dividend income. If you buy a stock and watch it rise, it's exciting, but your profit is only realized when you actually sell the stock. Okay, so it's only realized when you sell the stock. However, your stock portfolio can earn income before you sell it. So you could actually buy a stock if it's a dividend stock, hold on to it. You can earn money, kind of like a savings or checking account, and you can then at the end you can sell the stock many years later and then also earn money if the stock price goes up. Okay, so moving down here, a shareholder is an owner of a corporation. As owners, shareholders are entitled to their portions of the corporation's profits. So if you are an owner, by holding stock, you're entitled to the profits. A profit split among shareholders is called a dividend because it comes from the word divide. So a dividend. Hey, money received from dividends is dividend income. And dividends are usually paid annually or quarterly. Usually annually. So if a company does really well one year, you might get an extra dividend than normal. And sometimes companies, if they have a loss, you don't get a dividend. A stock that pays dividends is called a income stock. Because it provides the owners with income, okay, without actually selling it. The yield of a stock is the percentage of value of the dividend compared to the current price per share. Okay, investors use the yield to compare their dividend income to the interest they could have made if they put their money in the bank. Okay, so maybe a stock is pretty routinely pays 1%, and maybe a savings account only pays 0.25%. Okay, in that case, you might want to go with a dividend stock, and you also get the extra bonus. If it goes up, you can sell it. Hey, other investors are not concerned with dividend income. Instead, they want to buy low and sell high. A stock that is bought for this reason is called a growth stock. So in the project, maybe you saw when you're investing, maybe you saw the word growth stock. A stock can be both a growth stock and an income stock. So you could have a stock that you want to grow and sell it, and also gives you some dividend income. A stock is also classified as preferred stock or common stock. Okay, so there is different types of stock. Preferred stockholders receive their dividends before the common stockholders. And they usually receive a set dividend that does not frequently change. Common stockholders receive dividends only when the board of directors decide to issue. These dividends. Dividend payments are mailed to the shareholders or electronically transferred to their accounts. Usually electronically transferred these days. We'll just call it e-transfer. Dividend payments can range in value from a few cents to a few $1,000s because they depend on how much the dividend is and how many shares are owned. Remember that dividends are not guaranteed and can be cut or eliminated if the company decides that they don't have the money. Okay. They don't have the money or they don't have the profit. All right. Moving on to example 1. We're just going to do a couple examples here. Roberta is considering purchasing a common stock that pays an annual dividend of $2.13 per share. If she purchases 700 shares for $45.16 per share, what would her quarterly income be from dividends? Okay, so it's a quarterly income, and I'm just going to take this amount. So you own 700 shares. It pays $2.13 annually, and I'm just going to divide that number by 4. Okay, so I can divide this number by 4. I can divide it all by 4 at the end. Either way, I have 700 times $2.13 per share. Get my answer, divide that by 4, and I get $372.75. Hey, James owns 550 shares of a common stock that pays an annual dividend of $2.64 per share. What is the semi-annual income? So it's semi-annual, so I'm going to divide that by 2. So it's 550 times $2.64, and I'm going to divide all of that by 2. So 550 times 2.64, get my answer, divide that by 2, and I get 726. Okay, moving on here. So Jacques purchased X shares of a corporation that pays Y annual dividend. What is his annual dividend income? So this is just going to be X times Y. So however many shares times the dividend amount. Example 2. Elise owns 2,000 shares of a corporation that pays a quarterly dividend of 51 cents per share. How much should she expect to receive in a year from dividends? Well, she owns 2,000 shares. She receives 51 cents per share. And that's quarterly, and you want to find annually. So you just multiply that by 4. So this is going to be 2,000 times 0.51 times 4. So that's going to be 4,080. Okay, a lot of these are just going to be converting between quarterly, semi-annually, annually. So pause the video. Try this last one here. Check your understanding. Shane owns 1,600 shares of a corporation that pays a quarterly dividend of 0.563 per share. How much should he expect to receive in a year from dividends? Okay, well, this is quarterly, and this is a year again. So this is 1,600 times 0.0563 times 4. So I'm going to get 1,600 times 0.0563 times 4 equals 360.32 is my answer. I actually want to do one more here. I want to talk about yield. Okay, what is the yield? How do you figure out the yield? So go to example number 3. And if I want to figure out the yield, okay, the yield is a pretty simple formula. So the yield is just equal to the dividends per share divided by the current share price. In this example, and it's the annual dividends per share, it's $1.40. And the current price is $57.40. So this is going to give me a percentage. So I have $1.40 divided by 57.4, and I get 0.02439. So if I were to, let me shrink this up here. If I were to put this as a percentage, I'd move the decimal over twice, and then maybe round to the nearest tenth. So this is going to be about 2.5%, okay, which is pretty good. Better than a checking account, better than a savings account that you would get at the bank. So if you were to look at, for a dividend stock and you want to compare the yields, is the best way to do it, and a company routinely pays 2.5%, that might be better than investing in, putting it in a checking or savings account. Okay, this is the last one here. Steve owns common stock in Macy's. The annual dividend is $2.15. The current price is $68.70. What's the yield? Try that one on your own. Pause the video. Unpause it when you're ready. And it's going to be the same thing. So $2.15 divided by $68.70. So $2.15 divided by 68.70. And I get 0.03129. I'm going to move this decimal over twice, and this is going to be about 3.13%, if you wanted to take it one decimal farther than the previous one, 3.13%. Okay, homework. Go to 8-9. Let's get this out of the way there. So the very last section here, 8-9. So I want you guys to do numbers 1, 3, and what does it say there? Yeah, 1, 3, and let's do 4. Actually, 1, 3, and 7. So 1, 3, and 7 is the homework.